Hey, can I ask you something? Do you ever feel like you spend most of your energy just managing things? Like managing your boss's mood, managing your friend's drama, trying to manage what your family thinks about your life choices. It feels like you're constantly playing defense in your own life, right? You're always trying to say the right thing, do the right thing, and make sure everyone around you is happy and comfortable. But at the end of the day, you're the one who's left feeling completely exhausted and empty. Sound familiar? You know what's crazy? For years, I thought this was just normal. I thought being a good person meant I had to carry the weight of everyone else's feelings. But what if I told you there's a two-word secret that can completely set you free from all of that? I'm not kidding. This idea is so simple, but it is so powerful that it will change your relationships, your stress levels, and maybe even your entire life. It comes from the incredible Mel Robbins in her book, The Let Them Theory. And let me tell you, this little book is a total game changer. If anything I just said hits home for you, do me a quick favor and tap that like button. It really helps the channel, and it lets me know we're on the right track together. In this video, we're going to dive deep into this amazing idea. We're going to talk about why trying to control other people is a game you will never, ever win. We'll explore the huge, life-changing difference between just saying, "let them," and the second, more powerful step, which is saying, "let me." And we'll look at how you can use this simple theory to handle everything from annoying people to your biggest fears. And you absolutely have to stick around until the end. I'm not just saying that. At the end of this video, I'm going to share a really personal story about a time I felt totally left out by my own friends, and how I used the step-by-step framework from this book to not only stop feeling hurt, but to actually take back control and build even better friendships. It's the practical, real-world stuff that makes this theory so incredible. Let's get into it. The crazy simple idea that started at a high school prom. So, you know what's funny? This whole life-changing theory didn't come from some ancient philosopher or a stuffy research lab. It came from a high school prom. Seriously. Mel Robbins tells this story, and it is so relatable. Her son, Oakley, was going to prom. Unlike her daughters, who planned every single detail for months, her son was super last minute about everything. The tux, the date, the plans for dinner, everything was a chaotic scramble. I think we all know someone like that, right? So the night of prom finally arrives. It's pouring rain, which wasn't in the forecast. Oakley and his 20 friends are all dressed up, looking amazing, and they have 0 dinner reservations. 0. Their big plan? To go to a tiny little taco place called Amigos that has, like, 4 tables. You can just picture the chaos, right? All the parents, especially the moms, start freaking out, Mel included. Her brain just goes into fix-it mode. She pulls out her phone, frantically searching for a restaurant that can take 20 kids in tuxes and dresses on a rainy prom night. She's yelling out to other parents, "I can't find a reservation anywhere." She was getting so stressed out. It was her son's prom, but she was making it her problem to solve. And that's when her daughter, Kendall, grabbed her arm, looked her right in the eyes, and said the words that changed everything. She said, "Mom, if Oakley and his friends want to go to a taco bar for pre-prom, let them." Mel argued back, "But it's too small. They're going to get soaked." Kendall just said, "Mom, let them get soaked." "But his new sneakers are going to get ruined." "Let them get ruined." "Mom, you're being annoying." "Let them show up to prom in wet tuxedos. Let them go eat where they want. It's their prom. not yours. Just drop it. Let them. Isn't that wild? In that one moment, Mel said something just clicked. All the tension she was feeling just disappeared. Why was she so stressed? Why did she feel the need to control the situation? It wasn't her prom. It wasn't her problem. Her job was to love her son, not manage his dinner plans. So she walked over to Oakley, gave him $40 for tacos, and told him to have an awesome prom. She watched him and his date run out into the pouring rain, splashing mud on her dress and his new shoes, and she just smiled. She let them. What let them really means. This is the core of the whole theory. The let them theory is about freedom. It's about giving yourself permission to stop trying to control things that you were never meant to control in the first place. Think about how much energy we waste every single day worrying about and trying to manage other people. Your friend isn't texting you back? Instead of staring at your phone and wondering what you did wrong, just say, "Let them not text me back." Your boss is in a bad mood? Instead of walking on eggshells all day, you just think, "Let them be in a bad mood." It's not your job to fix it. Your family is judging your career choice? Let them. Their opinions don't pay your bills, and they don't live your life. You do. When you say, "let them," you're not being passive, and you're not giving up. You are making an active choice to take your power back. You are realizing that your peace of mind is more important than trying to control someone else's behavior, opinions, or mood. The truth is, other people only have power over you if you give it to them. When you are constantly reacting to what they do, you are giving them your power. Saying, "let them," is how you take it back. Mel started using this everywhere. Let them be sold out of bagels at the bakery. Let them leave dishes in the sink. Let the neighbor's dog bark. Let people hate the photo I just posted online. You know what's crazy? The more she said it, the more she realized that most of the things she was worrying about just weren't worth her time or energy. All that brain space that was once filled with worrying about other people was suddenly free. Free for her to think, to breathe, to focus on her own life. It was liberating. But this is where it gets really interesting. Because just saying, "let them," is only the first half of the equation. It's the part that gives you relief, but it's not the part that changes your life. The real power move comes next. The difference between let them and let me. Okay, so this next idea is the one that really blew my mind. After Mel shared the let them idea online, it went viral. Millions of people were connecting with it. But some people came back and said, "Hey, I'm just letting everyone do whatever they want, and now I feel lonely and isolated." This is because they were missing the second most critical part of the theory. It's not just let them, it's let them plus let me. Let them is about releasing control over others. Let me is about taking control of yourself. This is where your true power lies. Let's use a visual that Mel shares in the book. Picture a seesaw at a playground. On one side, it's you. On the other side, it's other people or a situation. When something happens that makes you feel bad, like your friends go on a trip without you, you feel small, insecure, and hurt. In that moment, your side of the seesaw goes down. You've given them all the power, and you feel heavy with all these negative emotions. That's life without the theory. Now, imagine you say, "let them." Let them go on a trip without me. Let them have fun. In that moment, you push off the ground. You release all that heavy emotional weight. Your side of the seesaw goes up. You feel a little lighter, maybe even a little superior. You've detached from the situation. It feels good for a moment, right? But now you're just sitting up there, alone, looking down on everyone else. If you stop here, at just let them, you will end up feeling disconnected and lonely. This isn't the point. The point isn't to be morally superior, it's to be in control of your own life. This is where let me comes in. Let me is what brings the seesaw back into balance. It's about looking at the situation clearly and asking yourself, what do I want to do now? What is my responsibility here? So, in the case of the friend's trip, let them go on a trip without me. Let me be honest with myself. Have I been reaching out to them lately? Have I been making an effort? Let me take responsibility for my friendships. Let me call one of them next week and see if they want to get coffee, not to complain, but just to connect because I miss them. Do you see the difference? It's huge. Let them is the release. Let me is the action. Let them is about what you can't control. Let me is about what you can control. You can control your attitude, your behavior, your choices. Your friends aren't better than you because they went on a trip, and you aren't better than them because you've decided to let them. You are both just people living your lives. The let me part is about giving them the grace to live their life, and then giving yourself the grace and the power to live yours. This isn't about blaming other people. It's about taking responsibility for the life you want to create. How to handle daily stress without losing your mind. Let's get super practical with this. How many tiny little things stress you out during the day? The slow person in the grocery line, the guy coughing on the airplane without covering his mouth, the Wi-Fi cutting out during an important meeting. Modern life can feel like death by 1,000 cuts. Each little annoyance drains a tiny bit of your energy. Mel talks about how our brains are wired for stress. When something annoys us, our brain's alarm system, the amygdala, goes off. We go into fight or flight mode. We get tense, our heart rate goes up, and we can't think clearly. The problem is, most of us are living in this state of chronic stress. Our alarm is always on, and when you're in survival mode, you can't be your best self. You can't be patient. You can't be creative. You can't focus on your big goals. This is where the theory becomes your superpower for managing stress. The moment you feel that stress response starting, you use the theory to turn it off. Picture Mel on that plane with the guy coughing everywhere. The old her would have been fuming. She would have let it ruin her whole flight. She would have been stressed about getting sick, annoyed that he was being rude, and she wouldn't have gotten any work done. She would have let a complete stranger hijack her emotional state. But with the let them theory, the approach is totally different. First, let him cough. She can't control him. Asking him to cover his mouth didn't work. Getting angry won't magically cure him. Trying to control him is a waste of her energy. Second, let me take control of what I can. What can she control? Her own actions. She can put her scarf over her nose and mouth. She can put on her headphones and listen to music to drown out the sound. She can focus on her work. Problem solved. Every time you say, let them, you are signaling to your brain that this situation is not a threat. You are telling your amygdala to calm down. And every time you follow it up with, let me, you are taking your power back. You are shifting from being a victim of your circumstances to being the creator of your response. Think about traffic. You can't control it. Letting it make you angry is just giving your power away to a bunch of cars. So, let there be traffic. Let me use this time to listen to a great podcast. Let me call a friend I haven't talked to in a while. You get to choose. That is real power. The secret to loving difficult people. Okay, so dealing with strangers is one thing. But what about the people in our lives who really know how to push our buttons? You know who I'm talking about. Family. Family is where this theory gets tested, but it's also where it can be the most healing. Your family has opinions about your life because they've known you the longest. They think they know what's best for you. And when you do something they don't agree with, like marry someone they don't like, or choose a career they don't understand, it can feel like a personal attack. Mel shares a beautiful story about this. When she told her mom she was going to marry her husband, Chris, her mom was not excited. Her mom literally said, "But I didn't choose him for you, and if it were up to me, I wouldn't have." Can you imagine how much that would hurt? For years, Mel felt this tension and disapproval. She thought her mom just didn't support her. But years later, using this theory, she looked at the situation through her mom's eyes, what the book calls her mom's frame of reference. Mel's mom had left her own family to get married and ended up living far away from them her whole life. From her mom's perspective, her daughter was doing the exact same thing. She was marrying a guy from the East Coast and would probably never move back home. You know what her mom's reaction was really about? It wasn't judgment. It was grief. She was afraid of losing her daughter. This is such a powerful idea. When someone in your life is being difficult, what if you tried to understand their frame of reference? It doesn't mean you have to agree with them. It just means you can see why they feel the way they do. So, let them have their opinion. Your mom is allowed to wish you lived closer. Your dad is allowed to think your business idea is risky. Their feelings are based on their own life experiences. And then, let me live my life. Let me make my own choices. Let me be compassionate and understand where they are coming from, without letting their fears control my future. You can love your family and still choose your own path. Understanding this allows you to have a deeper, more honest connection, even when you disagree. It takes the battle for control off the table and replaces it with love and understanding. How to finally build the friendships you deserve. Okay, so now for the promise I made at the beginning of the video. Let's talk about friendship, because this is an area where I think the let them theory is a complete and total game changer, and it's where I've used it myself with incredible results. Like a lot of you, I've gone through periods in my adult life where I've felt lonely. You look around and wonder, where did all my friends go? As Mel explains in the book, this happens to everyone. It's called the Great Scattering. After high school or college, everyone just scatters. People move, get married, have kids, change jobs. Life pulls everyone in a million different directions. The structure that made friendship easy when we were young is gone. This is why adult friendship is so hard. We keep expecting it to just happen, like it did when we were kids. We expect to be included in everything. We expect our friends to always be there. But that's not how it works anymore. So, here's my story. A few months ago, I was scrolling through my phone, and I saw it. A group of my friends, people I really care about, were on a weekend trip together. They were all smiles, laughing, having the best time. And I wasn't there. I wasn't invited. And man, my stomach just dropped. It felt like a punch. You know that feeling, right? Rejection. Insecurity. My mind immediately started racing. What did I do? Are they mad at me? Why would they leave me out? My first instinct was to text the group chat with some passive-aggressive comment, or to withdraw and feel sorry for myself. My side of the seesaw went crashing to the ground. But then I stopped myself. Okay, let's try this theory. First, let them. Let them go on a trip. Let them have a friend group that doesn't always include me. Let them be happy. I had to keep repeating it because it hurt. But with each repetition, I could feel the emotional weight lifting. Their trip had nothing to do with me. It wasn't a statement about my worth. I was separating myself from their actions. Then came the most important part. Let me. Okay, so they went on a trip. Now, what about me? Let me be honest. Have I been making an effort with these friends lately? The truth was, I hadn't. I had been so busy with work, so wrapped up in my own stuff, that I hadn't reached out or planned anything in months. I was waiting for them to include me, but I wasn't doing anything to create the connection myself. So, I decided what to do next. Let me take responsibility for the friendships I want. Let me reach out to one of those friends this week and just say, "Hey, I miss you. Let's grab coffee." No drama, no guilt trips. Just a simple action to rebuild a connection. I focused on what I could control, my own effort. And you know what? It changed everything. It took the focus off of them and put it back on me. It empowered me to be the kind of friend I want to be. Adult friendships aren't a group sport anymore. It's an individual one. You have to be proactive. You have to be the one who reaches out. Let people come and go. Let friendships change and evolve. But let yourself always be the one who takes responsibility for creating the connections you want in your life. The one thing that truly matters. At the end of the day, after all the stories and all the examples, this book comes down to one simple, powerful truth. You have spent so much of your life trying to control the uncontrollable, the weather, the traffic, and most of all, other people. But the sky is going to do what it does. People are going to do what they do. The only thing you truly have control over is your own response. The real secret to a happier and more peaceful life isn't about changing them. It's about changing you. The whole game is in that little space between let them and let me. The core message of the let them theory is this. You cannot control other people, but you can always choose your next move. And that is where all your power is. If this idea resonated with you, I seriously cannot recommend Mel Robbins' book, The Let Them Theory, enough. This summary just scratches the surface. The book itself is a quick read, but it's packed with so much wisdom that will stick with you forever. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Please, go buy her book to support her and the incredible work she does. So, what do you think? What is one thing you are going to let them do this week? Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're going to apply this. And if you enjoyed this summary and want more practical ideas to improve your life, make sure you're subscribed. And check out this next video on my summary of another game-changing book. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.